When some people think of being productive, it usually involves doing a bunch of things at once and somehow getting it all done. But what if we're looking at productivity all wrong and the key to getting more done is actually doing less? Career coach Liz Bentley joins us live now to talk about why slow productivity may actually be the way to go. Good morning, Liz.
Good morning, Cindy. Thanks for having me.
Of course, and I think a lot of people are going to love this whole idea, which is less is more. So how can we work smart and not hard?
This is the magic trick, right, that everyone has been trying to focus on and learn how to do over the last couple of years. How many times have you heard work smart, not just hard, or even not hard? So the key to it is, number one, we have to change our mindset. I find that so many people think that logging in a long day and working really hard is driving good results, but it's really not. It's not always driving good results. What we need to do is shift our thinking to looking at what is our goal, what are our objectives, and what were the outcomes, and thinking about how to work smart to move the needle and drive great business instead of just putting in long, hard hours.
All right, so it sounds like more planning has to get involved. You have to actually look at what you've done and look at the results. So one problem many people have is saying yes to everything and then getting all bogged down. So how do we avoid having too much on our plate?
Exactly. So number one is that we need to learn to say no without getting fired. That's the key, right? We want to keep our job. So so the number one thing I see is that people have to have excellent executive function. And that means they have to have the ability to be tracking what they're saying yes to and what they can then say no to. So what we see at work is we get tons of small tasks, right, that pile up and can take tons of time. Then we have big projects that we're working on that can get slowed down or that we're not time boxing. So if we have great executive function, we know exactly what we're doing and what is exactly on our plate, the small things and the big things. We can also then say no to things that maybe aren't in our lane, aren't important right now, not a top priority. The next thing we need to do is be able to put our big projects, the ones that we're working on with lots of people, have long timelines, on a Google Drive or in a place where we have transparency, where people can see what we're working on. That way they can look in and see how projects are progressing. They can see what we could take on or not take on, and people can be more aware of what we are actually working on and where we are going things. And the last thing I'd say that is really critical, Cindy, is paying attention to how much time things take. I find that people at work will take a small project and take way too much time with it, and then look at a large project and think it's not going to take as much time as it actually does. And because of this, again, they get stuck working hard instead of smart.
Oh, such good tips. Now, a new term that has come up a lot in the workplace is quiet quitting. And while it's a bad idea, is there any positive side to it?
Well, I think what we want to do is we always want to show up all in emotionally to the work we're doing. However, we need to take breaks, because to have top brain function, we need to be able to stay in flow, focus, improve our ability to really keep our brain going at a high level. And in order to do that, we have to take breaks. We need to sometimes in the middle of the day go for a run or go for a walk or do something that refreshes your brain and gives you some downtime. We also want to take breaks on the weekends and not plug into work maybe even at all, just so we can have a long break and come back on Monday really recovered. And then even have slow months of the year. For example, in July when things slow down, or in August when things slow down in your business, really spend more time doing things that are fun, having joy, connecting to family, connecting to friends, and doing things that help you really recover and give you a lot of happiness. Because the more you feel good about yourself and enjoy your life, the better you're going to show up to your work.
Liz, I love that. I almost feel like it's just the words we use. Instead of quiet quitting, it's like self-care. It's really important. All right, so now that we have an idea of what to do, how do we apply it so it actually works for us?
Okay, so I think, again, the key is having really, really good, transparent systems and great communication with everybody you're working with. So as I said earlier, those transparent lists so people can really see what you're working on, communication systems so you're not getting bogged down in email all day and getting stuck around things that people end up spending lots and lots of time on. Sometimes even just picking up the phone to call someone to figure out how to solve a problem. instead of, again, going back and forth on Slack or email or WhatsApp or whatever the communication systems are. So I think just having really clear systems and great communication with your team so everyone knows how we're functioning together, to constantly think about how we're working smart instead of hard. And the last thing I'd say is constant process improvement. Always thinking about how can we make this better? How can we keep making ourselves better?
Liz, very good advice. And it's funny when you say make a call. Everyone's like, what? Make a call?
I know.
That's
right.
really good.
Right. Sometimes it can take 2 seconds.
Yes.
And instead, we send out an email, we wait a day. Yeah, it's just too long. Too long.
Liz
So
Bentley, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it.